What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mel, and welcome back to Mel Got Game, where I bring you top plays, top sports news, and breakdowns of the previous week. So if that interests you, please like, comment, and subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into it. So with the NBA season over halfway done, I thought it'd be a good idea to do some power rankings for all the NBA teams so far. We're going to address which teams are playing the best and which teams are playing the worst in this NBA season so far. Let's go ahead and see where your favorite team ends up on the list. So at number one on Mel's power rankings list, we have the Phoenix Suns, who have the best record in the Western Conference as they sit firmly atop at number one at 49-12. They went 9-3 in the month of February, and they look to maintain their playoff seeding for these last 2 months of the season. The team's all-star guard Chris Paul, who is leading the NBA in assists, is out with a severe thumb injury that could keep him sidelined until the playoffs. In the games Chris Paul has not played, the team is 1-2, so it isn't a big deal yet, but I think it's something we're going to have to monitor over time and see how the team plays and evaluate how the team plays without him. It's going to be a huge loss for the team considering the production and the floor general mindset that Chris Paul brings to the offense. But as long as the Suns can get production from their scorers, they should be able to maintain their position in the Western Conference. Cam Johnson is also seeing an increase in playing time in Chris Paul's absence as he's having a career year for points, rebounds, assists, and steals. So that is also going to be very beneficial for that Suns offense. So at number two, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. And I got 2 words for you. Just 2. Ja Morant. I'm feeling like I see a Ja Morant poster every other day now. He's 7th in the league for points, and he is also averaging a career high in steals and blocks. He is leading the charge of this young Grizzlies team that is 3rd in the West at 43-20, and they are currently tied for wins at the moment with the Golden State Warriors. And it's not just Ja Morant. The scoring efforts of Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson, as well as the rebounding efforts of Steven Adams, have also contributed greatly to the Grizzlies' success this year. The Grizzlies are also expecting Dillon Brooks to return to the lineup in early March, as he has been out since December with an ankle injury. With the addition of the scoring output that Brooks provides, the Grizzlies could become one of the team's premier offensive juggernauts as the season enters the playoffs. So at number 3, we have the Golden State Warriors, and they are currently at number 2 in the West, and they are tied with the Memphis Grizzlies for wins with 43. They have a record of 43-19, and they went 5-5 in the month of February, as they did not look like one of the top teams in the league during that month. Their focus should be geared more towards defense moving forward, as it seems to be their weakness last month. And in their latest loss to Minnesota, head coach Steve Kerr commented that the team lacked connectivity, per Kendra Andrews at ESPN. Being on the same page in the NBA is one of the most crucial parts of this sport. And if the Warriors are lacking that, they need to reevaluate how they can solve this problem quickly before it hurts their playoff seeding moving forward. So at number 4, we have the Miami Heat. They are the first Eastern Conference team to appear on the list, and the Heat sit at 41-21, and they went 9-2 in the month of February, which helped them take that number 1 spot in the conference from the previously 1-seeded Bulls. The Heat haven't looked as good since the LeBron, Wade, and Bosh era in Miami. I'm not comparing the 2 eras. I'm just saying that this Miami Heat team is the best Heat team I've seen in a while. They're ranked number 5 in defense, and on the year, they have seemed to master a lot of the fundamentals and smooth out a lot of those rough edges from previous years. Their scoring production is also solid as well, as they have a reliable sparker off the bench in Tyler Hero, who is a heavy favorite for 6th Man of the Year. Ultimately, if the Heat can keep the pressure on their opponents and capitalize on the offensive side, they could definitely see themselves taking the East this year once again. So at number 2, we have our second Eastern Conference team, the Chicago Bulls, and they sit at 39-23 at 2nd in the Eastern Conference. Having reigned at number 1 for a majority of the season, they were recently dethroned by the Miami Heat. They went 8-5 in the month of February, and despite no longer being first of the East, they are still having a strong season and seems like a clear turning point for the Bulls franchise in terms of being a contender yet again. The tag teaming efforts of Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan got me recalling the Jordan Pippen era, except both LaVine and DeMar DeRozan play like they're the number 1 option. Nikola Vucevic is also providing scoring and rebounding, which helps a considerable amount as well. The team is also hoping to get back Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso for the end of the season push, as both players' injuries are trending upward. The Bulls are very much still hunting for that #1 spot in the East, and they are capable of doing just that. So at number 6, we got the Philadelphia 76ers, and at 37-23, they sit at 3rd in the East. As the East is pretty much wide open, the Sixers have a shot to make a push for the top spot in the East. Going 6-4 in February, the Sixers look to play much better basketball during March and April, especially since the acquisition of James Harden from the Brooklyn Nets. This has already proved to take some of the scoring load off of MVP candidate Joel Embiid, as it gives him another reliable scorer who can produce on a nightly basis. Tobias Harris has also contributed offensively, as he has been very consistent option for the Sixers every year, as well as Tyrese Maxey, who is having a breakout year in his sophomore season, seeing a 20-minute increase in playing time. The team is also ranked 7th for defense, with Matisse Thybulle leading the defensive end. 76ers are definitely poised to emerge as one of, if not the, top team in the East. So at number 7, we have the Utah Jazz, and they have a record of 38-22 as they sit at number 4 in the West. They went 8-1 in the month of February, which also included a 6-game winning streak for the team. They have one of the better offensive teams in the league, as they rank number 5th for total offense in the NBA. They are also top 10 in defense at number 9, so they will definitely want to continue their success on both sides as the season nears its end. Their center, Rudy Gobert, he has 14.8 rebounds a game, which has him leading the team and the league in rebounds, which has proved beneficial for Utah as it limits possessions of the opposing team and helps them get more second chance opportunities. Staunch defense combined with effective rebounding can prove to be instrumental for a team, and it certainly has for the Utah Jazz. So at number 8, we have the Dallas Mavericks, and the Mavs hold a record of 37-25 and currently sit at number 5 in the West. They finished February with an 8-3 record and are steadily trending positively, as they rank 2nd in defense for the year and also top 10 in offense at number 9. They will have to rely on their defense a little more after trading their former center Kristaps Porzingis to the Washington Wizards. They're hoping to get some good offensive production from the newly acquired guard Spencer Dinwiddie, even though he has struggled a bit this season. As long as the Mavs continue to find ways to improve on both sides of the ball, they should be looking at pretty good playoff positioning come mid-April. So the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks come in at number 9. They hold a record of 37-25 and currently sit at number 4 in the East. They went 6-4 in the month of February. They have a top 10 ranked offense at number 8, but their defense is lacking a bit, as they sit at 17 among the NBA teams. Giannis has been his usual dominant self, and it's also improved a considerable amount with his free throws. So I wonder if he's been in the lab a little bit working on his free throws, as he did struggle a little bit last year from that free throw line. They're also getting good production from their other starters on offense, but they do need to clean up some things on defense, as their ranking obviously shows. So they need to clean up some things on defense before the playoffs come if they hope to have any chance of repeating. So finishing out the top 10, we have the Denver Nuggets, and they have a record of 36-25. They currently sit at number 6 in the West and are coming into March on a 6-game winning streak, winning 8 of their 12 games in February. They lie just outside the top 10 at rank 11 in both offense and defense, which isn't bad, but still could use improvement for both sides of the ball. They have pretty good offensive production, as former MVP and current MVP candidate Nikola Jokic is leading the team in points and assists. The Nuggets are also hoping that Michael Porter Jr. can return as soon as he possibly can, because he is dealing with a back injury. They are also optimistic that Jamal Murray can make his return in time for the playoffs, as he has been rehabbing with an ACL injury from last April. It's just optimism though, because as we all have seen, you cannot rush somebody back on the floor with an ACL injury, because that is just higher risk of them re-injuring that knee, possibly tearing the ACL again. So for Jamal Murray, they're definitely looking towards the long-term future when it comes to Jamal Murray, instead of the short-term future with the playoffs and everything coming up. So that's just optimism for right now. But regardless of that, the Nuggets are trending upward and can make a push for a higher spot for the playoffs. But they need to be careful, because any losing streak could have them on the outside looking in and having to fight for a spot in the play-in tournament. So right outside the top 10, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they are 36-25, and they are 5th in the Eastern Conference. they are one of the more surprising teams of the year, as this is the Cavs' best season since they had LeBron back in 2017. The Cavs ranked first in defense and 10th in total offense. They won 5 games in February, but they also lost 5. So the team is definitely looking to improve their offensive output for this final stretch of games. Breakout player Darius Garland is having a career year for points and assists, and has proved to be what the Cavs have much needed this season after the injury to Colin Sexton this past November. Evan Mobley is also making his name known on the team in his rookie season with his offensive and defensive efforts. Jared Allen's 11 rebounds a game give the team consistent board results on a nightly basis. Increasing the team's offensive output seems to be the key to getting back in the playoffs for this year. So at number 12, we got the Boston Celtics, and they are 37-27. They sit at 6th in the Eastern Conference. They rank 3rd overall in defense, but 12th overall in offense. Definitely a disappointing start to the season for the team, but they seem to be finding their stride as of late, as they went 9-2 in the month of February. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have been a consistent duo for the team, but more of the scoring load will have to fall on Tatum for a few games, as Brown unfortunately suffered an ankle sprain early in their win versus the Hawks. It comes at a bad time, as the team just traded their former point guard, Dennis Schroeder, who was averaging 14.4 points a game. There's not a timetable for Brown's return, but players like Marcus Smart will definitely be leaned on to score a little bit more until his return. So at number 13, we have the Toronto Raptors. They are 34-27, and they sit at 7th in the Eastern Conference. They went 8-4 in February, and they rank 13th in offense and 10th in defense at this point in time. The team is performing very solid on defense, which is creating a lot of offensive opportunities and fast break chances for the squad. Better offensive production from Fred VanVleet has been beneficial, as he is having a career high in points per game. The team hopes to get small forward OG Anunoby back soon after he suffered a fractured finger, but there is positive news that he will not need surgery for it, so that's good for the team. Having him for the end of the season push would help their chances greatly for getting better playoff positioning. So at number 14, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they are 34-29, and they are 7th in the Western Conference. Going 8-4 in February, they rank 14th in overall offense, but 22nd in total defense, so that's pretty bad. They're allowing 112 points a game. Playing the best basketball they've played in recent years, but they do need to clean up some key areas in order to qualify as a true contender and be able to make a deep playoff run. Their offense has improved a considerable amount with Karl Anthony Towns' efficiency. Anthony Edwards increased in offensive production for his sophomore season, and D'Angelo Russell's offensive consistency. The team is also managing Anthony Edwards' knee tendonitis injury, as they're taking it day by day and hope to get him to full health in time for the playoffs. Overall, if they can tweak their defensive approach a little bit and be able to shut down opposing teams more consistently, they should be able to find themselves solidified in a higher playoff spot and avoiding that play-in tournament. So at the midway point for my power rankings, we got Los Angeles Clippers at 15. They are 33-31, and they are 8th in the Western Conference. They went 6-4 in February. It could have been a lot better month for them, but they are currently on a 4-game winning streak, and they look to continue it moving forward. Currently ranked 15th for total offense and 11th for total defense. They're among kind of the average teams in the league. Reggie Jackson as well as Marcus Morris Sr. have stepped up on the offensive end in the absence of Kawhi and Paul George, who both have no timetable for their return for their injuries. If they can get more offensive production from players like Luke Kennard and Terrence Mann, I really think they could finish this season very strong with a pretty good playoff seeding. Well, if you've been paying attention to the time in this video, you would have known it is towards the end of the video, and I've only included 15 teams in my power rankings list. And if you haven't read the title yet, it says part 1. So some of you may be wondering, well, Jamel, it's 30 teams in the NBA, right? Where's the other 15? Well, I have the answer for you. In order to prevent this video from being, 30, 40 minutes long, from including all the teams in my power rankings, I'm going to be uploading a part 2. So that video is going to have teams 15 through 30, well, the rest of the NBA teams, but ranked 15 through 30 on that list. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a great weekend and stay safe, and I hope to see you next time on Mel Guy Game.